A very warm welcome, children. We are in the second part of a lesson, Is Matter Around Us Pure? In the first session, we have learnt about the classification of matter into its respective things. Now we are going to start it just with elements. Before going into that, let us recall once again. Matter is classified into pure substances and mixtures. Pure substances are again classified furtherly into elements and compounds, whereas mixtures are classified into homogeneous mixtures such as homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. Heterogeneous mixtures are furtherly classified into suspensions colloids. So now we are going to start with the pure substances. In that we have discussed about the definitions of a pure substance. Let us recall it. A pure substance is a substance which contains only one type of substance and does not have any impurities. In that we are going to learn about elements. An element is a substance which cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances by chemical methods such as applying heat, light, or electrical energy. For example, hydrogen is an element because it cannot be split into two or more simpler substances by usual methods by carrying out chemical reactions. Similarly, oxygen is an element because it cannot be broken into two simpler substances, whereas water is not an element, it is a compound. So it can be split up into substances like hydrogen and water by electricity because water molecular formula is H2O. An element cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances. An element is a substance which is made up of only one kind of atoms. For example, you take copper rods. In that you can see only copper atoms are arranged. You see iron element, iron metal. In that iron metal you can see it is made up of only iron atoms. There are 115 elements known at present. Out of 92 elements are occur in nature while the remaining 23 have been prepared artificially. Every substance in this world is made up of one or more of these elements. You can see diamond, sodium, mercury, chromium, all these occur in nature. Phosphorus, chlorine, bromine, iodine, sodium, potassium, calcium, aluminium, silver, gold, zinc, iron, silicon, tin and mercury. Diamond and graphite are also elements. They are allotropic in other forms of carbon. That means a same metal or non-metal may be having two or more forms. We call it as allotropes. So diamond and graphite are the two allotropes of carbon non-metal. So elements can be classified into solids, liquids and gases. Some elements are solids, some elements are liquids, whereas few of them are gases at room temperature. Let us see a few examples. Sodium and carbon elements are solids. Carbon is a non-metal, sodium is a metal. Mercury and bromine. Mercury is a liquid metal, bromine is a liquid non-metal at room temperature. These are elements which are liquids, whereas hydrogen and oxygen elements are gases at room temperature. Majority of the elements are solids, 11 elements are gases, whereas only 2 elements, mercury and bromine, are liquids at room temperature in our periodic table. So let us see that a few elements combine together in different ways to extremely make a large number of materials and objects. The human body is made up of complex compounds formed by combination of certain elements. For example, human body contains 65% of oxygen element, 18% of carbon element and 10% of hydrogen element and 3% of nitrogen element and 2% of calcium element and 2% of other elements. So this is how a human body is made, children. So we have to know for ourselves. So now let us learn about metals and non-metals and metalloids in detail. On the basis of the properties, the periodic table has been classified into three groups: metals, non-metals and metalloids. So now let us discuss about metals. A metal is an element that is malleable, ductile and conducts electricity. Some of the examples of metal are iron, copper, aluminium, zinc, silver, gold, platinum, chromium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, nickel, cobalt, tin, lead, cadmium, mercury, antimony, tungsten, manganese, uranium. All the metals are solids except one metal, mercury. Mercury is called as a liquid metals. Let us learn about the physical properties of metals in detail. Metals are malleable. The property of drawing metals into foils or thin sheets by beating with the help of a hammer, we call it as malleable. Gold and silver are some of the best malleable metals. So aluminium and copper are also highly malleable metals. Silver metal can be hammered into thin foils because of its high malleability. Aluminium foils are used for packing food items like biscuits, chocolates, medicines, cigars. Milk bottle caps are also made up of aluminium foil. Aluminium sheets are used for making cooking utensils. So malleability is an important characteristic of metals. Metals are ductile. Ductility means stretching of a metal into thin wires, we call it as ductility. Ductility is also an important characteristic property of metals. Gold, silver, aluminium, copper are the best metals which can be drawn into thin wires. We call it as ductility. So we say that metals such as copper, aluminium, gold, silver are the best metals which are ductile. For example, just 100 milligrams of highly ductile metal like silver can be drawn into 200 meters long wires. So we say that metals are malleable, metals are ductile. Now next one, metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. This means that metals allow heat and electricity to pass through them easily. Metals are generally good conductors of heat. Silver metal is also the best conductor of heat. The cooking utensils and water boilers are usually made up of copper, aluminium, iron because they are very good conductors of heat. The poorest conductors of heat amongst the metal is lead. Mercury is also a poor conductor of electricity. So the electric wires are made up of copper and aluminium because they are good conductors of electricity. Next one we say metals are lustrous in nature or shiny and metals can be polished. For example, we wear all the ornaments made up of metals as they have shiny nature. Gold and silver and copper are shiny metals, so they can be polished. The property of metal having shining surface is called lustrous nature. The shiny appearance of metals make it useful for making jewelries and decoration. Gold and silver are also used for making jewelry as they are bright and shiny. So we just say that shiny surface of metals makes them good reflectors of light. So silver metal is an excellent reflector of light. Next one, metals are generally hard. We cannot break the metals with the help of our hands, no children? Yes, try it with your metal piece you have it at home. Take any metal piece made up of iron and try to break it with a hand. Yes, you cannot break it. So we just say that metals are rigid and generally hard except sodium and potassium, which are soft metals which can be cut with the help of a knife. But all the metals are not equally hard. The hardness varies from metal to metal. Most of the metals such as iron, copper, aluminium are hard and they cannot be cut with a knife, whereas some exceptions such as sodium and potassium are soft metals which can be easily cut with a knife. Now, they have high tensile strength. Children, what do you mean by tensile strength? Elonging capacity. Or this means that metals can hold large weights without breaking. For example, iron metal in the form of steel is very strong, having a high tensile strength. Due to this, iron metal is used for making or constructing bridges, buildings, railway lines, grinders, guiders, machines, vehicles, chains. Though most of the metals are strong, but some of the metals are not strong. Example, sodium and potassium metals are not very strong, so they have low tensile strength. Metals are solids at room temperature, as we just discussed now. All the metals like iron, copper, aluminium, silver, gold are solids at room temperature except mercury is a liquid at room temperature. Next one, metals have high melting and boiling points. This means most of the metals melt and vaporize at high temperature. For example, iron is a metal having high melting point of 1535 degrees centigrade. Only at that temperature the metal starts to melt. This means that solid iron melts and turns into liquid or molten form at 1535 degrees, whereas exceptions are sodium and potassium. Sodium and potassium have low melting points less than 100 degrees centigrade. Another metal, gallium, also has a low melting point that starts melting in your hand. Next one, metals have high densities. This means that metals are heavy substances. For example, density of iron metal is 7.8 grams per centimeter cube, which is quite high. However, some exceptions are sodium and potassium have low densities. They are very light metals. Next one, metals are sonorous. That means they have ringing sounds. When we strike them, you can see the metal starts to make sounds. This is due to the property called sonorous nature of metal. That is why metals are used for making bells, plate type musical instruments like cymbals, that is manjira, and wires or strings of stringed musical instruments such as violin, guitar, sitar, tanpura, etc. The last but not least, metals usually have a silver or grey color except copper and gold. Copper has reddish brown color, whereas gold has yellow color. Metals are widely used in our daily life for a large number of purposes. The cooking utensils, electric fans, sewing machines, cars, buses, trucks, trains, ships, aeroplanes, all are made up of metals. Mixtures of metals are called alloys. So from this we say that we depend most of the time in our life on metals. Once again, review all the physical properties of metals. Metals are malleable. Metals are ductile. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Metals are lustrous. Metals are generally hard. Metals are strong, having tensile strength. High tensile strength. Metals are solids at room temperature. Metals are rigid. Rigid or strong, both are the same, children. Metals are generally having high melting and boiling points. Metals have high densities. Metals are sonorous. Metals usually have gray or silver color. So with this, I'm going to stop today, children. Please note down the running notes and write these in your running notes. Thank you. Please read the textbook. We will wait with the next session with the properties of non-metals. Thank you.